Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for September 18, 2025. Firstly, we have the ongoing situation in France, where hundreds of thousands of workers are protesting against budget cut plans. The nationwide strikes, called by trade unions, are causing disruptions to public transport and services, with many pharmacies and schools closed. The unions are demanding more spending on public services, higher taxes on the wealthy, and an end to policies that only serve the richest. In other news, U.S. President Trump met with UK Prime Minister Starmer at the Chequers country residence in England, where they discussed strengthening bilateral ties, fostering economic growth, and addressing global issues. A new technology pact between the two countries is expected to bring in significant investments in areas like artificial intelligence and quantum computing. However, challenges remain, including differences on key policy issues such as the situation in Ukraine and the conflict between Israel and Palestine. Lastly, we're following a developing story on the diplomatic front, where the European Union is facing internal divisions over budget cuts and economic policies. The French protests are just one example of the growing discontent among citizens across the continent, who are calling for more spending on public services and greater economic equality. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges facing governments and citizens around the world. As always, we'll continue to bring you updates and analysis on these developing stories. Thank you for joining us on this special report from the AI Daily Press. We'll be back with more news after this break. And that's all for now. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and then she'll know it's right now. Firstly, we looked at Albania's efforts to become a member of the European Union, with the country taking steps to meet the necessary criteria. However, this story was not covered in our previous articles. Instead, our first article discussed the implications of slower population growth in Australia, where annual population growth has slowed to 1.4%. Experts warn that this could pose risks to the economy, particularly if it means fewer international students, but also note that it may help ease pressure on the jobs market. Our second article examined a significant development in the world of economics, as the Bank of England decided to hold its main interest rate at 5%, despite inflation remaining high. This decision has major implications for borrowers and savers across the UK, and we heard from experts on what this might mean for future interest rate cuts. Finally, our third article touched on a range of topics, including joint naval drills between Turkey and Egypt, which marks a warming of ties between the two regional powers, and the latest inflation figures in the UK. We also looked at new unemployment figures released in the US, and what they might mean for interest rates in the coming months. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskwiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, Oracle has made headlines with its involvement in the TikTok deal, which has sent the company's stock soaring. The preliminary agreement, subject to regulatory approvals, positions Oracle as a major player in the social media landscape, highlighting its growing influence in the tech industry. Secondly, we're seeing a significant expansion of Uber's logistics strategy through its partnership with Flytrex to launch drone delivery programs. This move aims to create a faster, safer, and more sustainable delivery network, integrating autonomous aerial vehicles into Uber's global logistics platform. Lastly, we've been following market trends and analyst insights on these developments. While some experts raise concerns about data security and regulatory frameworks, others see these partnerships as strategic moves that will drive growth in the tech industry. As we navigate these evolving landscapes, it's essential to recognize the broader implications for the logistics, transportation, and tech sectors. Investors are advised to exercise caution, closely monitoring developments and regulatory approvals in the coming days. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good evening. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. First, We looked at the latest discoveries about asteroid 2011 AG5, which is set to be visited by the Japanese spacecraft Hayabusa 2 in 2026. Researchers have found that the asteroid has a highly irregular shape and may be either a single solid rock or a rubble pile, posing challenges for the mission. Next, we explored the detection of a white dwarf star, accreting fragments of a Pluto-like object using the Hubble Space Telescope. This discovery provides valuable insights into the formation and evolution of planetary systems, suggesting that the object being accreted is a fragment of a dwarf planet formed in the outer reaches of the star system. Finally, we touched on the latest updates on asteroid exploration, including NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission, which successfully collected samples from asteroid Bennu in 2020. These stories remind us of the complexities and uncertainties involved in space exploration, as well as the awe-inspiring complexity and beauty of celestial systems. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the cosmos. Until next time, good night, and keep looking up at those stars. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Firstly, we have Maria Taylor's new partnership with Clutch Sports Group, a move that could pave the way for more women in sports to take on leadership roles. This is a significant development, folks, and one that we'll be keeping a close eye on. Secondly, the Florida Panthers are gearing up for another exciting season, with their sights set on a historic three-peat. With key players like Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, and Aaron Ekblad signed on, this team is hungry for more. We spoke to General Manager Bill Zito, who revealed that he's been studying the history of championship teams to keep his squad together. And finally, we have the electrifying events unfolding at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Sydney McLaughlin, Lavrone, has taken the gold medal in the women's 400-meter flat event with a blistering time of 48.4 seconds, while Noah Lyles is looking to make history by becoming the first man to win 4 consecutive 200-meter world titles. These are just a few of the stories we've been following this week. Tune in tomorrow for more updates and analysis from the world of sports. Until then, I'm Howard, and this is the AI Daily Press. Good night, and stay ahead of the game. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Coural.
Thank you, Howard. First, we followed the story of 2 missing hikers in Colorado, whose disappearance sparked a massive search effort and raised questions about the importance of preparedness and safety in the great outdoors. Next, we traveled to Egypt, where the theft of an ancient golden bracelet from the Egyptian Museum served as a poignant reminder of the importance of cultural preservation and the need for vigilance in protecting our shared heritage. Finally, we journeyed to the heartland of America, where Senator Karina Villa's courageous stance against ICE has sparked a national conversation about compassion, empathy, and justice. This story celebrates the power of individual conviction and the impact that ordinary people can have on shaping the narrative of our country. These stories, though diverse in their themes and settings, are united by a common thread: the human spirit. They remind us of the importance of community, cultural heritage, and individual action in creating a more just and compassionate world. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Tonight we're summarizing the latest news and trends in entertainment, politics, and fashion. First up, we've got an update on the Jimmy Kimmel controversy. The late-night host found himself at the center of a media firestorm after making comments about Charlie Kirk's shooting death. His show was pulled from ABC's airwaves indefinitely, sparking a debate about free speech, censorship, and the role of media in shaping our national conversations. In other news, Jay Ellis, the star of the hit show Turning Point, shared his 6 favorite books with us. As an avid reader, Ellis believes that books are not only a source of knowledge, but also a means of entertainment and self-reflection. We're excited to dive into his reading list and explore some new titles. And finally, in the world of fashion, BCBG has relaunched with a fresh new collection for fall. The iconic brand has enlisted the expertise of celebrity stylist Danny Michelle to bring their vision to life. With a mix of structured pieces and soft, flowy dresses, this collection is all about effortless chic. And the best part? It's affordable without sacrificing style or quality. That's all for tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night and stay informed. And if you're looking for more fashion inspiration, be sure to check out our previous episode, where we dove deeper into BCBG's new collection and explored the latest trends in beauty and lifestyle. From Bobbi Brown's new lipstick line to the perfect brow gel and heels for your next night out, we've got you covered. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we explored the impact of second-generation anticoagulant rodenticides on powerful owls in Australia. The alarming findings of poison traces in these birds' livers underscore the urgent need for restrictions on the sale of these toxins and a shift towards more environmentally friendly pest control methods. Next, we delved into the world of ornithology with the remarkable discovery of a significant Taita falcon stronghold in Mozambique's Nyassa Special Reserve. This breakthrough not only offers hope for conservation efforts, but also emphasizes the importance of preserving natural habitats like the Mayombo woodlands. Lastly, we examine the complex interplay between human activities and wildlife conservation, particularly in the context of the decline of honeybee populations due to pesticide use and habitat destruction. The need for sustainable farming practices and the preservation of biodiversity has never been more pressing. These stories serve as a stark reminder of our responsibility towards the natural world and the delicate balance that exists between humanity and the environment. As we strive to make progress and develop, it's essential that we do so in harmony with nature. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press. We'll continue to bring you insightful stories from the intersection of humanity and nature, and we look forward to exploring more topics with you in the future. Until next time, good night. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.